Cool. Should be live. Let me check and see here. Gonna mute my phone. All right, let's see if we are live. Yeah, it looks like we is live. Perfect. Yes. So, welcome. What a weekend. All right. But time to relax, spend the last 2 hours of my day or so seeing if we can make some sense of this. So, let's see. Let me put my headphones on because some of the sound might come through my speakers on the microphone. And where did I put my... There it is. Come on. There we go. All right. Cool. So, where did I leave off with this? Let's see what I got going. So let's see. Where I left off, I was trying to hook up ship customization. I have a bug right now. So when I go to shopper upgrades, I get this interesting. Panel grid item. Disable text. So did I not do that? So there's a few things I have to rig up here. So if we go to upgrade grid item, which is not really a grid item, but whatever. We go to disabled text. Save that, restart it. Load. Let's see, customize your ship. Okay, cool. So I got part of it working. Let's see, does this actually work? No, it does not. Okay. So part of it's working. Not well, but we're getting something thrown together, and then we can make it work from there. So let's go to my shipyard. I want to go to upgrade selection.scene. And for this, in the code, press self cancel. So we probably don't even need to emit this signal because it doesn't seem to do anything. So I'm just saying, do we even need to emit this signal? And then what I'm instead going to do is I'm just going to call queue free on this window itself, because all it needs to do is, if we pick something, it has to tell us what we're picking. If it doesn't, then doesn't matter, just frickin' close the damn window. So I don't think we even need to emit that signal. So I'm going to comment this out for now. Save it, run it again, load, browse ships for sale. Nope, I don't want to browse. I want to go, nope. I want to go to customize, shop for upgrades. So now it shows us the list of upgrades that we have available at this location. And I have a pretty basic thing thrown together for it, but you can see it says insufficient space available on your ship. So the thing I'm working on right now, there's a freaking gnat that keeps flying in front of my camera. That's fun. The thing I'm working on now, oh, let me change this. Let's be live chat. There we go. The thing I'm working on now is that I need to be able to pass ship data down to the various nodes. So I have kind of a hodgepodge of things of throwing together here, and I'm not. So if we look down here, you can see we've got under the shipyard folder, we've got browse window, we got buy ship window, we got choose window, we've got customize window. Then we have a few other miscellaneous things like shipyard grid item, shipyard window, upgrade grid item, upgrade selection, and then there's something that's going to be phased out called weapon slot control. That's going to be gone, but that's going to be replaced by like weapons selection and stuff like that. So I have a bunch of stuff here, and basically, like, let's start at our shipyard window. So if we go to this 2D scene, this is the first window you see when you go to the shipyard. And it's fairly basic right now. I'm just trying to get something working, and then we can pretty it up later. So this just has some buttons. You can browse new ships to buy, you can customize your existing ship, or you can get the fuck out of here, cancel, right? So if we look at the code, how I started this window is that I just have a bunch of scenes like ready to go, and then I just have a bunch of functions that can be basically connected to various signals that will happen. And when I first started this node was like the hub of the shipyard logic. It's like, okay, this handles displaying everything, and then every little window would handle its own piece of the puzzle. And this would just handle displaying windows. And then I later got away from that, and then now I'm just calling shit willy-nilly, and I don't know. I'm just like, this is clean, this makes sense, it's pretty basic, you can see what it's doing. Okay, we are show browser window. We're instancing the browser window. We are passing in some variables it needs. We're adding it to our scene, and then we're connecting the signals that it emits, and we're connecting them to other functions that we have. So for example, we can go to on browse window cancel, and you can see we are emitting a signal that something happens. So what does that signal frickin' do? Tells the main scene to close our window. Okay, so you can see we're just basically passing around a fuck ton of signals, which I think this was how I put this when I was learning how signals in Godot work, and I feel like I went overboard with it. I don't know. I'm still not sure how I feel about the whole Godot pattern of call down, signal up. So, like, for example, calling down, I have a reference to a node here, or a scene rather, and then I could basically reference that later. And then if I wanted to, like, say I wanted to tell my main scene that, hey, I'm done, I would just emit a signal. I would signal up, and then it's up to the main to intercept that signal and do stuff. Logically, it makes sense. It's perfectly fine. But implementing it doesn't feel graceful, at least how I've been doing it. And so, I don't know, I need to take some time and just hammer some signals and stuff, because it always feels so clunky whenever I do it. And it feels like I'm having to go to 6 different places to find what is happening. So I don't know. But what we got going on right now is I was deciding whether or not I wanted to expand the scope of what this shipyard window does. Since this is the root of our shipyard stuff, I figured it should be responsible. So here we're already getting the location name of where we are, and this is going to be set by main whenever they instantiate us. And so I figured we should also probably pull the player save data, because I'm doing that on a different window. I'm doing that on, I think it's, what is it? Buy ship window. If we go to open that, I think up towards the top here, player data is a dictionary. Will be loaded from a save file in ready. Well, now I have a scenario where I have to load the save file again. So I'm wondering if the shipyard should just do this load once, and it can just pass in the player data to any of the child windows that it creates. So I'm thinking that that's what I might do. So, but all we're doing is basically just calling util.loadPlayerSave. I already have a function that just loads the save. It's not, I don't think it's too intensive as far as resources and stuff goes, but I know that file write operations can get I don't know, pretty messy, but we're just basically saying, hey, creating a file, if file exists, our player data.save, then open the file, and then we're going to get that JSON data. I have a parse JSON here. That's just a built-in method that will parse all that data, and then we're closing that file, and then we're just returning that player data. So that's basically what it's doing. So I wonder if I should just do this once at the top level of the shipyard scene, and then any window that needs to do that could pass it down. Here, we're going to do something fun. We're going to do a pirate software style diagram, right? So let's say, cool. So let's say this is my main shipyard window, right? And then I have to, when I open up the buy ship window, it opens up another window that allows you to basically pick the ships that are for sale. So you can select the one that you want to buy. And then once you select one, that then opens up the window that displays the information about that particular ship, how it compares to yours, and whether or not you want to buy it. And it has like the purchase button down here. So I believe that this window here is loading that data. I wonder if this window is loading it as well. So if we go to, so that's buy ship window. So if we go to, where is it? Choose window. No, maybe. No, that's just the basic window that's shown. So it's not that. It's the browse window. So this one, I wonder if this code, we have list of ships that are available. And then I wonder how we are, and we're also getting the player data here. So we're getting, so we are getting player data here. We're getting player data here. So it seems like I'm already kind of doing that per window basis. Now on the flip side, if we go to customize the ship, it displays the customize window, which shows you the details about your current ship and has like some buttons here where you can buy upgrades or you could buy weapons. And then, so if you open up, let's say if you're choosing upgrades, it opens up like a smaller window that kind of overlays. And this gives you a list of upgrades that you can buy. Well, this window needs to be able to determine if we have enough funds and mass available to purchase this upgrade. So we need to also get the player data there, but we don't necessarily need it here. So would it make sense to get rid of all of this? So if we just, let's do a fill. So if we just, oh, no, that's not what I want to do. So if we just got rid of all of this, and I did it at the top, in theory, this sounds like we should just be getting the player data here. And then we would just pass it down as needed. But the problem is, since this one doesn't need it, I would still have to pass it down, and this would have to also pass it down here. So I think I'm just going to stick with the approach to where I just call the data as I need it. Since I'm just getting it from a file, I'm also just getting it from the source of truth. But I don't know. I don't know if I like doing multiple file calls in the same section, but I don't know. This seems like a detail that I can agonize over for a while. And realistically, it's probably not that big a deal because it's not like it's loading this every frame. It's just loading it when you click a button on a window. So it's a pretty quick operation anyway. So I think I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing here. So let's get the player data for our upgrade selection screen. So I'm going to say var player data is a dictionary. And I'm going to say that will be populated in ready. So it's going to be populated in our ready function, and we'll just do that here. So we're going to get the player data, so we know how much mass and money we have. So we have that player data. So now we don't need these variables anymore, because I was planning on passing these down, but we really don't need that. So we're gonna get rid of that. Save. And then, so now we have, hey, if available funds. So where do we get that? So if we take a look at, let's take a look at ship, because this is where our save function is, and this is where we are getting the save data for the ship. So you can see here we have mass space, and then I believe inventory data. Where are we getting that from? I think that's declared up higher. I could have just shift clicked at it, but I didn't. So it's down farther. Inventory data tells us how much money we have, what our total bulk is, how much cargo we're actually taking up, and then yeah, and then any trade items I add get added to this. So this is what stores all of that. So inventory data is a key in that, and that's just called inventory data. Okay, so mass space and inventory data, and then what do we call it? Funds. Okay. So where am I? Upgrade selection. So if player data dot inventory data dot funds is less than, okay, I think that's what it was. Let me just double check. Ship inventory data funds. Yes. And then if we have, if available mass, so but how do we know how much mass we actually have? So we're going to have to check that. We're going to have to track the how much mass that we're actually taking up. So we're tracking bulk in this here, in inventory data. I kind of want to just track mass, like the, so var, we'll just say used mass, and this will be an int equals 0, how much mass we have actually used. Cannot exceed max, mass space, right? So we'll save that. So basically what we're gonna need to know is, hey, how much used mass are we taking up, and what is our mass space? How much are we allotted? Are we gonna have enough room to install this mod? Is basically what we're looking at. So if available mass, so I think I'm gonna say determine how much mass we, actually I might do this, I'm gonna do this down here. So determine how much mass we have available. So var available mass equals, and we'll go to player data dot, but we're not saving that on player data, so I should probably do that. So save mass space, and we can put used mass, and we can set this to be used mass. There. So now we are saving that. Cool. That should still work. I wonder what's going to happen now that I did that. What happens if we load the game? We leave. Okay, so no issues saving and loading, even though I made a change to the file. But I assume because it's 0 value, it's not handling it anyway, so it's just fine. So let's go to available mass equals player data dot mass space minus player data dot used mass. That's basically how much space we have left. So for example, if we have 10 mass and we have 10 used mass, this is going to equal 0, which means that it's less than the required mass space of this ship. So I'm getting the UI upgrade data. So UI is this control node I made here. I'm setting the upgrade data of that variable to be basically upgrades.list with the key that we're specifying. And that basically passes this whole, let's go to upgrades here. That will pass, like, so say if this key is here, it's going to pass this whole dictionary. And I'm setting that variable. So I have access to all of this data here. So cool. We make sure that we are doing that. And on top of that, we also need to make sure that our ship has the required tags. So am I storing the tags in the save file anywhere? I don't know if I am. Either way, this is fine. So we're doing that, and then insufficient space available on your ship. That's cool. And then I'll also had a to-do determine if our ship has the required tags. Because part of the thing is some upgrades might be only for certain types of ship. So we have to, I'm going to put a to-do in that for right now, because this is going to be something that I work on once I get this working in some way, shape, or form, then I can improve it and flesh out the rest of it. But I just want to get something working, just see if it's going to work how I envision. So let's do this. Let's see, go over here. And that's the buttons. Okay, save. So now we should know whether or not we have this stuff available. So if we test this, load, I'm sure I forgot something. Customize your ship, shop for upgrades. Cool. So now you can see that, let me just move this up a little bit, because I think down here in my like output window, I think I just output something for debug. So say for example, if I want to buy this rear thruster overtune, right? I'll click that. Nothing's happening. So why is nothing happening? So let's take a look at upgrade grid item. Upgrade, even though it's not really a grid item, I just sort of duplicated what I had with the shipyard grid item, which was a grid item. So let's take a look. So this is a grid item. It's a panel. Interesting. And for signals, we have this GUI input. And I've connected that to this function here. So we're saying, hey, are we disabled? If disabled text does not equal empty string, then we are disabled. Do nothing. Did we receive a left click? Okay, so I have this determine if input is left click event. What does this do? This is basically taking an event, which is an input event. We're just saying, hey, is input event mouse button? If not, then it's not, then return false. If event.button underscore index does not equal button left, we're not clicking the button. Was it a left click being pressed down? Because you could have like left released, which is not really what we want to capture. So we're saying, hey, if event pressed, then return false. Otherwise, it was a left click. So let's put some debug lines in here. I'll put print. I'm just going to quickly go through and just do some quick debug lines. I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3 to see like where we're at. I'm going to put a 2 here so we can see what it fails on. That's what I want to see. And we'll just do 2A. And then we'll just do boom. And we'll put 3. So let's run that. We'll see what pops out in the console when we do that. So load, land. Let's go to customize our ship, shopper upgrades. I'm going to click something. So it's not even detecting the clicks. Oh, now it is. So it's getting to 2A. So 2A. So if determine if input is left click event. Okay. So now I'm going to add some debug lines here. So I'm going to do underscores this time. I just want to see where it's actually failing on. Put a 2 here. And we'll put a 2A for this one. And then for this, I'll put a 3. Should be 2A there. And then for this, I will put a 3A. And then for here, I'll put a 4. So let's run it again. Let's see what it fails on. Load, go to ship, customize ship, click it. So if I click this, so it's failing on 1A. So something is happening. It is detecting some sort of GUI input, but not when I click it. It's detecting a whole bunch of like mouse over events, I think. But it's not detecting. So let's take a look at, so it's failing at 2A. So it's detecting some sort of mouse button, but it wasn't a left click. So let's take a look at this input event. We've canceled, pressed, double click. So those are just properties. Weird. Because I copied and pasted the exact same code that's working for the shipyard grid item. So if we go to that, load, let's go to shipyard, let's browse for ships. So, and then bam. So you see, there's a bunch of like 1As, and then there was a 4. It went all the way to 4. So like the rest of this stuff is just like covering mouse over events. And yeah, but for some reason on the upgrade window, on the upgrade grid item, it's not detecting that. So I think that is because so this should be on top. I wonder if this, so let's go ahead and so this filter is set to stop, and this is over. Well, this is itself. So mouse is set to stop. So let's take a look at the upgrade selection window then. So this, I believe, everything here is set to stop. And then once it gets to here, I wonder if I have to let that pass through. So if we do like list of ships, and I go to the mouse, I have it set to pass here. So that means in this upgrade selection, for this VBC where all the stuff is going to be, I have to, that's also set to pass. So why is it failing? This panel, this is over top of it. That should be fine. So do we have something else here that's set to pass? That's set to stop. That shouldn't matter. That's okay. So that's set to pass. And the browse window itself is set to stop. What am I doing wrong on this? So the mouse is set to stop here. I want this also set to stop, and then down here, this panel, I'm gonna pass on this and then see what happens, see if it works. So if we set that the mouse filter to pass, load, go here, shop for upgrades. And if we click one of these, still not doing anything. So what if we, I guess we're gonna stop. We'll change that back to what it was. Either way, this itself filter controls whether the control will be able to receive the mouse button input events through GUI input and how these events should be handled. Also controls whether the control can receive mouse entered and mouse exited signals. See the constants to learn what this does. So if we go to control, I want to look at documentation. Go to control. Let's take a look at, let's see, what do we have here? Mouse filter. Let's take a look at this. So mouse filter stop. The control will receive mouse button input events through GUI input if clicked on, and the control will receive the mouse entered and mouse exited signals. These events are automatically marked as handled, and they will not propagate further to other controls. This also results in blocking signals in other controls. So I wonder if something up above is blocking this signal, which I'm willing to bet that's probably what it is. So if we go to upgrade selection, I'm not really needing to do, I'm going to set this to pass. I'm going to let it pass through and see what happens now. Load, customize. Still not getting that. Exit. So upgrade selection should handle it, because, so what does pass do then? So if we go back down here to control, the control does not handle the event. I'm gonna set this to be ignore. How about that? What if we just ignore it? Let's set it to ignore and see what happens. Yeah, this is fun. Now it's not getting there at all. But we can still click on the... So am I just not handling that event at all? Let's just reset this. Save. Let's go back here. Let's take a look at shipyard grid item as well. So that's set to stop. That's fine. Let's take a look at the code for this. So we have this on panel GUI input event. Then in upgrade grid item, which is connected. So I do have the GUI input connected on both of these. This one's working, this one's not. So we're passing in the event of type input event. And it's like it's not even firing. It's not even registering at all, which means something is blocking it. this should be what's in focus, but something up the tree is blocking this. Which is probably why I was initially doing a lot of stuff with my root shipyard window node. This here. So we have our choose window. Because I bet if we go here, set to stop, interesting. So on my upgrade selection window, I don't have anything that is messing with the UI as far as that event. I don't have anything hooked up here that's using that GUI event. So why? It's panel. It's also a panel. I mean, they're basically the same damn thing. So what's different? They're basically identical except for like the script they have. The mouse filters set the same. They just have like the rectangles set, so that all that's fine. Let's go look at the browse window. So here we just have them in a list of ships. This is set to pass. Here I have it in a VBox container. This is set to pass. Maybe I should set this to pass also. Basically just keep going up until I find what's blocking it. It was registering input before, and now it's not. See, something registered input. So that's not it. I wonder if this itself needs to pass. Because it's not handling the input event. So let's do refresh. Load. Customize ship. I'm still not able to click on this shit. It is detecting mouse over events though. But it's not detecting mouse clicks. So something is capturing that mouse click first. Upgrade selection. That's passing it. That's passing it. This is passing it. So it's got to be above it. So what is above? So let's see. Let's go to our shipyard window. Customize window scene. We're doing show customize window. We're doing the same thing that we're doing for all the other stuff. We're just setting like the location name or whatnot. We're adding as a child. We're connecting signals. On customize window done. Yeah, that's fun. I love troubleshooting UI stuff. Choose window. Show customize window. On customize window done. We're just emitting a signal to close the shipper window. Okay. What does this do? Okay, so we do have something that is registering the input here. It's failing on 2. No, do nothing. No, do nothing. It's the same. So we're doing that. And it's going to 1A. So on here, 1A, this is not that. Just for fun, let's print what event it is tracking. Because it's tracking something. So it's tracking motion, but why is it not tracking clicks? Interesting. So it is tracking clicks. So in theory, this should find it in this bounds, but why is it not doing that? 'Tis a mystery. Because this is what's detecting the click here is GUI input. So this panel is basically, but it's only happening like up here as opposed to the rest of this, which is odd. Why is that happening? So anchors, we have margin. So that's all set. This is the same. We have our rectangle set up, that's fine. Scale. Focus. Mouse filter is set to stop. Mouse filter is also set to stop. Okay. So as far as these two are set up, they're set up the same. So why is this not working most of the time? Customize ship, shopper upgrades. So I'm moving it. It only does it when I'm mousing over the texture. So it's only doing it for this and not this. In reality, it should do it for the whole damn thing because this is what's detecting that GUI input. Okay. Godot 3.6 panel GUI input. Let's see. I know it inherits control, so let's take a look at what that signal does. Like, how is that signal fired? I guess I can look at that in here too. So if I'm looking at the code, let's go down here into control. So let's go to the signals. Properties, methods, signals. GUI input receives an input event. What is an input event? So is a bunch of stuff. Okay. Base class of all sort of input event. Okay. So what does this do though? That'd be nice. I mean, is it because I have a viewport like underneath it? And that's why it's acting all weird? Load. Shop for upgrades. So I'm wondering if it's only because there's a viewport behind here. I don't think that should be messing with it. But just for fun, let me try something. So upgrade selection window. Let's make this top left. And let's make this... Why are you doing this to me? Come on, that means... Oh, center container. I want this to be center left. Let's save that. I just want to see what happens. Load. Customize your ship. Shop. It is this viewport. It's the viewport underneath. Because now it's detecting it just fine. No, it's still not detecting the click properly. What the hell? So do I have to do something wonky here to make this work? Am I going to have to put like a... I feel like I'm going to have to put like another color rectangle over this. And then I have to make this like full. So let's see, rectangle, let's just do minimum size 700 by, what was it, 100? There we go. And then let's make the color just fully transparent. Save. Now let's see if it detects that correctly. No. It's still only detecting... Okay, interesting. So that didn't do anything. Let's get rid of this. So this texture rectangle keeps capturing input. So let's do mouse filter. This is automatically set to pass. Why is it only doing this for that? I'm going to set to ignore. HBox container. Mouse is set to pass. Everything here should be set to pass. I'm also going to set this to pass. Save. Load. Customize shopper upgrades. See, when we try to click this, nothing happens until we get to this damn texture. And then it works. Why? I don't understand. I really don't. No, not browse. Not that. I want to customize my ship. Shop. Why is this such a pain in the ass? All right. Well, let me see if I can pull up AI and ask that. No, I don't want it full screen here. Let me just freaking resize my window here. Bring it over here. I just want to get logged into it real quick. Claude. Continue. Yeah, I know. There we go. Okay. All right. So Claude is going to help me out. Hi, Claude. I'm having a weird issue with a UI element I'm making in Godot 3.6. Here's the node, the scene setup, right? So here we have a, what is it? A panel. And then below that, we have an HBox container. I didn't want to hit enter. God fucking damn it. Okay. Yes, let me just fucking edit this. Jesus Christ. Copy, whatever. Just fucking. Sorry. Hit enter too soon. Here's the scene setup. Okay, I gotta do fucking shift enter for this shit. So we have a panel, and then we have HBox container, and then we have a texture rect, and then we have a rich text label, and then we have a color rect. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave those off. But that's what we have, right? I have the panel GUI input. Oh, god damn it. GUI input signal connected to a script that is attached to it, and I'm trying to detect a mouse click, and for some reason it only detects a mouse click when I click the texture rect inside the HBox container and not the rest of the node, basically. I have the mouse filter on all child nodes set to ignore, so I'm not sure why it's only choosing the section that has the texture rect to register a mouse click for, if that makes sense. We'll see what Claude says. This is a common Godot UI issue. Problem is likely related to how panel and HBox container are sizing themselves. Here are the most likely causes and solutions. Panel isn't actually covering the full area you think it is. Solutions. Select panel. Set anchors to full rectangle. Okay. We can try that. So panel. I can't set the anchors on this really. We'll do full rect. No, I don't want to do that. Jesus fuck. Size flags. Fill and expand. Okay, let's try the size flags thing. That might work. Let's get out of here. So let's go size flags. Fill and expand. We'll save that. And we'll try it now. Load. Bilbo's Wagons. Customize. Shopper upgrades. Nope, it's still only detecting input events over this texture rectangle, which is fucking stupid. It's not part of it. It's a part of it, but it's not even set to... I don't fucking know. This is ridiculous. So, Xbox container also have to fill and expand. I don't know why that would matter. Event mouse button and event pressed, panel clicked. Ready, so we can... Let's try this, just for fun. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put this in the ready event. After we format our data, we put a big old to-do here, debug stuff. We paste this in. I have to backspace this because Claude doesn't do tabs, it does spaces. And let's just see what this does. Load. Bilbo's Wagons, customize your ship. Shopper upgrades. Yeah. So the rect is correct. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this done because I fuck with this for an hour now and I'm not getting anywhere. The rect values are correct, 700 by 100, which is what they should be. However, it still isn't registering any other mouse events on the rest of the node, only just the area that, god damn it, that has the texture rect, which is only about, I would say, like, what, 96 by 96 or some shit? Less than that? Rich text labels mouse filter. Even though you set it to ignore, rich text label can be finicky. Try setting it to pass instead, or temporarily remove it entirely to test. Okay. Why would that fucking matter though? This is top level. It's the top level node, and the rest of the and all child nodes are set to ignore. Okay. Try input instead of GUI input, but it's a control node. It needs to use GUI input. So AI doesn't know. It's just fucking grasping at straws. So what the fuck is wrong with this? Let's try its suggestion of just getting rid of the rich text label real quick. Load. Customize, shopper upgrades. Okay. So it's got to be something with that rich text label then. It's not working right. So let's do... What the fuck? Oh. The rich text label was not set to pass input. It was set to stop. Are you kidding me? That's all this was? Unbelievable. That's what it was. I assume I'm not using a rich text label. I'm using a regular label on this one. So all of this stuff is set to ignore. Okay. All right. Well, that was fun. That was an enjoyable hour. We learned about mouse filters on control elements in Godot 3.6. I guess Godot in general, but wow, that was way harder than it had to be. Okay. Either way, let me grab a quick fucking drink here once I get this cap off. Oh, that's good. I was thirsty. That cap's not too secure. I'm gonna set that over there for now. Okay. So, we got to work. Let's remove all of this debug shit before we forget. That way we're not spamming a bunch of random crap. And we also, I'm gonna save. We also gotta do it here too. Let's get rid of this. We'll get rid of all this debug stuff. And then, so now we have it. It's able to detect whether or not we have the mass. It's able to detect if we have the required funds. I still have to be able to detect if we have the required tags for this ship or for this upgrade. But I'm not going to worry about that for now. I want to worry about, so when we hit upgrade choice clicked, what do? So on the upgrade selection screen, all we're doing right now is we're emitting that signal that says ready to place upgrade. And I think I clicked it, yeah? It's probably in the output overflow. So we're emitting signal, ready to place upgrade. And then so I believe it's just our customize window is what shows that. So if we go to our customize window, let's see. So mod by button. So what happens when we click the mod by button? So we are connecting, ready to place upgrade. So right now I'm just outputting that to the console as like a to do. So what do we need to do? We need to actually create a placer that will allow us to place it on the ship, but also it shouldn't be able to be placed on top of other weapons or upgrades. So yeah, now time to figure that out. So I already kind of had some code working like in a base way for that for this shipyard editor. I have a placer.scene, and this just basically has some code. Basically like so if we look at it, I have a line 2D, I have two lines that sort of give like a crosshair that shows where you're going to be placing it at, so you can see it easier as well. I have an area 2D that is roughly about like, I don't know, what, 5 pixels wide? What's the so it's a radius of 5, so it's about 10 pixels. Just basically detects, hey, is it there? So I might have to correct the radius a little bit. I can dynamically set that to be like half of the sprite width or something, right? So that's not too bad. I can adjust that on the fly. I don't know if I want to use this same placer. So I might just make this. I kind of want to just duplicate this. So can I just duplicate? I'm going to name it Shipyard Placer. Duplicate. And then this is going to live inside of Shipyard. So I'm going to close Placer. I'm going to go to Shipyard Placer. I'm going to open this scene. And then this still has the old Placer script attached. I'm going to detach that script. I'm going to attach a new one. Create. And then I'm going to go in the old Placer. And I'm going to copy all of this because I don't want to break the old functionality from my old screen there. I know I don't want to genericize that node to the fact that it's just a pain in the ass to use. So I'm going to take this node, duplicate it, and then just make it explicitly for what I want to use it for. So we're going to have placer canceled and placer placed. I don't think we even need placer canceled, but this seems to have it as well, which is fine. So I'm going to rename these to Shipyard Placer Canceled and Shipyard Placer Placed. And it's going to tell us what node we placed. Now, yeah. So what are we placing? Expected to be set before ready. What type of thing are we placing? You can say weapon or upgrade. And the name of the thing. Once placed, what should the name of the thing be? What are we adding to the ship once we place it? What are we adding the thing to once we place it? Okay. What ship are we adding the thing to once we place it? So this will be, these are all, I don't know why I exported these. I don't know why those are exported. I'm not setting those in the editor anyway. So we'll do those, and then we'll say these should be set before. Yeah, I'll just copy this. These are. Let's just do this. Expected to be set before ready. Boom. Got it. So now we could say once we instance the thing, we need to reference it to change the color of it. So the thing that we're placing, because we want it to be a slightly different color. Are we being dragged? Are we valid to be placed on the ship? Then we have some colors defined here that are good for valid or invalid. So called when the node enters the scene tree for the first time, our ready function, we are setting the alpha to be 0.7. Just our colors, and then we are creating the thing, whatever thing we are instancing, the thing path, we're instancing it. So if I'm creating an upgrade, I'm going to create an instance of that upgrade, and it's going to be a child of this placer, and we're going to set the colors. So we're adding child thing, and we have that referenced here so we can keep track of it. And in our process event, we're basically getting the mouse position here. Oh, we're getting global mouse position. Okay, so we can get rid of this. So is the mouse position within the bounds of the viewport? I'm tired as fuck and I can't find a great way of dynamically getting the viewport without either calling up, which is a no-no, or passing in a reference to the viewport, which is tedious. So fuck it. The viewport is 934 by 700, and the camera is right in the middle of it. So if the mouse position is between half that in either direction, you're good. Okay, so I guess following that same logic, I should take a look at what our viewport is here. What's the size? 900 by 905 is what we've got here. And that could change. No, because that's the, I see, minimum size is 900 by 900. Interesting. So size flags. There we go. We're just going to dynamically, we're just going to statically set that. That way it can't change. So it's 900 by 900. So that means for our shipyard placer, it's going to be 900 by 900. That's what the viewport's going to be for this. So there we go. So 900 by 900. So I can set that here, getting our leeway here, and then we're just calculating that. I'm going to keep that same calculation there because it was working before. I don't want to second guess it for now. If I need to, I'll change it. What happens when we click the mouse or press escape? Let's see. If button left, we're going to try to place item. And place item says, can we place the thing? Are we valid? So if valid, if not valid, nothing to do, just return. If we are valid, we're going to place the thing. So thing name, let's see. So we're going to match thing type. We don't need thrusters, so we can get rid of that. And then we're just going to, for weapons and upgrades, we're just going to add child. That's all we're going to do. And we're going to add it to their upgrades and their weapons, which is part of the ship. So that works fine. Ensure the position and rotation is set. So T position is global position minus ship global position. That gives us the relative position. And then we're setting it to be rotation. Even though we're not rotating it, I think I have the capability to do that. So adding it there. Emit signal that we've placed something. Place or placed, and then destroy ourselves. So what determines if it's valid? So here we have on area 2D area entered. So the only area 2D I was accounting for here was the area 2D of the ship itself to make sure that it was good to go. So, let's see. Was this the ship's area 2D? So we're going to say, I'm going to try if area.owner let's see, if area.owner is ship, I guess we could try to say. So we'll say valid. See, because now I have to detect if we are, you know, for now, I'm not going to mess with this. I'm just going to get it working. Motherfucker, just do the thing. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to put a big old fatty to-do on here. To-do, handle determining if we are colliding with other upgrades or weapons. I'm not gonna do that tonight. Too fucking tired. I just want to get this working. I want to be able to place an upgrade on my ship. That's what I want to do tonight, and then we can make the rest of it work later. But tonight, that's my goal. I want to place something on the ship. So cool. Looks good. So we're doing that. So this should work. I only had to make a few changes to it. Other than that, it should work. So we need to emit shipyard placer canceled. Let's just copy this. And then we're going to emit placer placed. Okay. Cool. So we're just checking random event. Got it. So now in our customize window, we have upgrade placer. So we're going to place the placer. So we need to prepare the shipyard placer. So we're going to say var. Actually, I think I should track this up here to determine if we already have something. So I'm going to say, let's see, keep track of our placer. We don't want to keep bumping my microphone. Have multiple placers at one time. So I'm going to say var placer, which is of, I think it's node 2D. Yeah, node 2D. Let's see, will be set when needed. Okay. So now we have that. We are going to come down here, and I think I can just get rid of this fucking shit. Yeah, handle slot clicked. We don't have weapon slots anymore. Get deleted. Okay. So now we're going to prepare shipyard placer. We're going to say placer equals load. We're going to load the instance, or the scene rather. I'm going to copy the path here, paste that in there. Then I'm going to do instance, which in Godot 4, they changed that to be instantiate, which makes sense, I guess, but instance is easier to type, so I like it. And then once we do that, we're going to set the variables that it needs to have set before ready, which I guess these should be put in like an init function. But yeah, so thing path, thing type, thing name, and the ship that we're placing it on. So let's do. So are we keeping track of, so player instance, we're already keeping track of that. So we will say placer dot ship equals player instance. I need shipyard placer, not just placer. So we need thing path, thing type, thing name. So thing type is going to be upgrade. Placer dot thing type equals upgrade. Placer dot thing name equals, and we are going to set it to just be, what do we have access to? Well, we already have the upgrade name here, so we're just going to set that to be upgrade name. Upgrade name. And then placer thing path. We need the path to that thing. So what we can do here is we can do upgrades dot list. We can put in the upgrade name, and then we can put in scene path, I believe is what that is. So upgrades scene path. Yes. So that will get the path of it. Cool. So now we can go down here. So that should be all we need to do as far as setting the variables. So now we are going to add the placer to our display, to our viewport. And then what we can do here is, I don't remember if I have, yeah, display viewport. So I already have something for that. So now I can do display viewport dot add child, and we can just say, what are we gonna call it? It's placer, right? Set. So shipyard placer. I think in the ready. So let's take a look at, where was I, how was I determining where to place it? Because I wanted to place it, I want to place it like top right of the window, like just somewhere up there so you can see it, but it's out of the way. So I'm going to change placer dot global position equals, and we're just going to, so increasing our X makes it go to the right. Increasing our Y makes it go down. So we're going to want to have a positive X value and a negative Y value. So I'm going to say vector 2. And we're going to, so since it's 900 by 900, we're right in the middle. Let's do 350 and then negative 350. Okay. So let's see what this does. Oh, we also need to connect the a signal. Connect signal. So we are going to placer.connect, and we're going to connect the signal of, let's see, I believe it's what, shipyard placer placed. Copy. Shipyard placer placed. We're going to connect it to ourself, and then the function we're going to connect it to is upgrade placed, which I have yet to make. That's fine. Placer.connect shipyard placer, was it canceled? Is that what I called it? Yeah, shipyard placer canceled. I'm just gonna copy that. I'm sure I got it the same, but yep, nailed it. We're gonna connect it to ourselves, and we're gonna connect it to a connector function called upgrade. We'll just say placer canceled. Canceled. So now I have to make those signal connector functions. Now I'm going to go to, let's just say signal connector functions. I'm going to make func upgrade placed, and this signal has to take in the actual node. So what we're going to do is it's going to take in a node, which is of type, I think node 2D is what it always places. So place node. So yeah, no matter what, it's going to be a node 2D. So that is what we are placing. I love type safety. This is great. So type safety. So node of node 2D. Awesome. I'm going to put a big old fatty to do here. Place on ship. Because we have to do a few things. We have to... actually, it's already placing it on the ship. So to do... let's see. Actually purchase it. Adjust, use mass, funds, etc. Right? So we have to do that. Print, and I'm just going to say for now, placed for now. So there's a big old fatty to do there. So now we're going to have func. We're going to say placer canceled. And then what we're going to do for this is we are just going to destroy our placer so that we don't have it floating. Just destroy our placer for science, right? And then we're going to say placer.queue free. We're going to destroy that. So next thing is signal connector. So we need to make sure that do we already have a valid placer? So if is instance valid, and we'll say placer, we already have an instance. We shouldn't do anything. So we'll just return. Okay. So now that we've done that, what should happen is we should go to our ship here, customize our ship, shop for upgrades. I should be able to buy one of these, and you can see, I'll zoom in here so you can see it. now we have this placer, and we can place where we want to put it on our ship. And you can see, we can, as long as it's touching it, it's fine. But so say if I want to put this, like, I don't know, like right there. It placed it. Cool. So now you can see we have this upgrade placed on our ship. Cool. So it did it. So now I have to actually like show what kind of our upgrades are doing with this. So now our maximums, our acceleration speed got bumped up quite a bit. So this thing goes even faster now. Fun. Awesome. So yeah, that is fun. So cool. I can do another one. And then let's say if I hit escape, that should get rid of the placer. And then if I, let's do deceleration speed. Put that right there. That places it. Let's do this. Interesting. So this one is a bit smaller. I think that's intentional. But yeah, so it works. So you can see, so my goal is to be able to like visibly see the upgrades on a ship so you know what you're dealing with, or you have some sort of idea. Now, the upgrades aren't going to look the same for every faction. So for example, like the Zerzalians, who are going to be primarily biological ships, those aren't going to look, they're not going to have this simple stuff here, right? So yeah, kind of a cool idea. We'll see how it works, but I am able to place upgrades on the ship, which means I should also be able to place the weapons on the ship as well. So I just have to do something similar to where I have a list of weapons. So there are still some things to do, but I think that's a good stopping place, because you see they're not actually on my they're not on my ship. So I'm not accounting for that at all. They're just being placed on the ship in the preview. They're not actually showing up. So I still have to do some things. Like update, save, etc., right? So we still have to do all that. So there's still a bit to do, but functionally it works, which is nice, which is what we want. Perfect. Okay, let's make a note of what I did in my main, my main script. So I'm not going to worry about this. So let's see. I got upgrade placement working. Need to actually have it take effect. And then I could say, once that is done, do something similar for weapons. So, and then I still have to work out how to handle required tags. And I will say, like, and prevent overlaps. Right? Because how it works right now is I can go to load, Bilbo's Wagons Wholesale. I'm going to customize my ship, shopper upgrades. So I can add an upgrade right here. I can grab another upgrade and I can add it right on top of it. And I can add another one and add it right on top of it, which I don't want that to happen. Realistically, how big a deal is it? Not really. I mean, realistically, I guess you could stack them on top of each other. I don't see any harm in that, but I just don't like the way that looks. I think it looks like shit. So, and my art's already bad enough as it is. It doesn't need to be exacerbated by stacking a bunch of crap on top of each other so you can't even tell what you're looking at. So I have to be able to prevent that. So that is one thing that will take some finaglery to figure out. But as of right now, that's working. So we have a list of upgrades that we can buy. Kind of gives you some stats about what they do, what they cost, how much mass it takes. I should have something on here that displays, you know, how much mass you actually have available to you. That would be handy. But this works fine. So cool. Yeah, and I should also, I need to handle, if you've already had an upgrade of a certain type, you already have it. Why do you need it again, right? So I need to handle that as well. So there's still some things to do, but at its core, it's working. The feature works. Still have to handle how to, yeah, still have to work out how to handle required tags. Need to prevent overlapping, stacking upgrades in same spot. And I also need to still have to let's see, also prevent purchasing upgrades multiple times. To do, what if some upgrades should be purchased multiple times? So still some things to think about for that. So I think for that last part, what if upgrades should be purchased multiple times? In my upgrades dictionary here, I'll probably have to specify like max count or something. Like how many times can it be applied to your ship? Because, for example, something like a rear thruster overtune, I only want that to be applied once. But something like, I don't know, like if you're trying to sacrifice more cargo space for mass, I think you should be able to apply that multiple times. Up to like a cap, right? Because otherwise you could just take a freighter, which has like 4,000 tons of cargo space, and convert that to like 3,000 tons of mass space, and then just put so many fucking weapons on there that there'd be no point to ever have a carrier, cruiser, or fighter class ship ever again. So there are some things I have to be aware of that players will do, because I'd do it. I'm a player. I would do that for sure. So maybe like a max, like maybe do what Escape Velocity Nova does, to where you can only apply those retool upgrades, what's like 3 times? Something like that. So there should be a maximum like number of upgrades. So maybe I'll just add something in here that says like I guess like max applicable, or let's see, maybe just cap like how many times it can be applied, or just limit. I'll just put limit, and I will make it 1. Okay, so we're gonna go and we're gonna add this to all of our upgrades here that we currently have, because there may be some upgrades in the future that I want to add that limit might be 3 or 5 or something, right? And so you can have up to 5 of these upgrades on your ship. So yeah, like one upgrade, for example, like solar panels. You'll probably want to have multiple of those. Those are upgrades. You can place those on your ship. So yeah, that would be cool. Anyway, I think that's a good place to call it for tonight. It's 10 o'clock on the dot here, and that's about what I wanted to get done. So yeah, I'm simultaneously frustrated that I spent an hour trying to figure out a freaking UI GUI input issue, and it was due to rich text label not passing like labels normally do or whatnot. But yeah, whatever. So let's open this in File Manager. I'm gonna open up my terminal, and I'm gonna do a git status on here so we can see all the changes I made. I'm going to do a git add with a dot. I'm going to add everything in the root of my repository. I'm going to stage it to be committed. So git status again, you can see everything is staged. I'm going to do a git commit, and I'm going to do a -m for a message, and I'm going to put in quotations. I'm going to put got ship upgrades working in like as a proof of concept. Like I'm gonna say got ship upgrades working barely. Still some to do, but we are on our way. Cool. You can get status. You can see nothing is there, but I had to push it, so I'm gonna do git push origin. Since I'm a solo developer, I'm gonna push to my main branch because I'm not really making any other branches. If I was working in a team, I would be making my own branches and then adding features to that, and then probably doing merge or pull requests for those, have my team reviewing them, get it merged in, handle any merge conflicts, so on and so forth. But since I'm just a solo developer working on a hobby project, I'm committing to main like a rebel. There you go. So my code is now on GitHub. So we can see account settings. Oh, I don't want to be here. Let me go to my profile. Here we go. So repositories, Neurality 3092, and you can see that it's now been pushed. So we've had 76 commits on this project over the years. Yeah, pretty fun. We're getting there though. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it. In case you don't know, I started a Discord, and yeah, so let's see here. Bring it up here so you can see. Yeah, sure. So yeah, I have a Discord. I now have an Axe Wizard, Beards Games, Guitars Discord, and there's a bunch of stuff here. Oh, apparently it posts live videos as well. So I have a bot that posts whenever my channel goes up. So yeah, it's posting my streams. So that's fun. And I don't have a way to post live streams yet. I wanted to separate those, but I guess YouTube treats those as the same. So there are some bots that can detect the difference. So I'm still checking that out. But I got some like general stuff here, like community. I got a memes channel with some fire memes going on in here. So yeah, the link, I'll put the link in the description as well. But you can jump in and join whenever. And yeah, so I have a whole section on game dev stuff with some helpful resources. So for example, like my version control commands, I made a video on how to do all that. Random video game shenanigans. So I have channels here for some games that I enjoy playing. I can always add more. And I also have stuff on TTRPG stuff. So for example, for Cairn, I made a Guards Adventure a while ago. And I also made my own tabletop RPG for my boys and I, which is very, very rough. But in case you want to try it out, you can do that there. But yeah, I have a Discord. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And I will catch you. Let's see, my next stream is tomorrow. I'm probably going to be streaming at about, I would say 5:30, maybe 6 p.m. Eastern time. Depends on when I get home from work. And we'll be doing more game dev stuff tomorrow, I think. Yeah, we'll be doing more game dev stuff tomorrow. And then I think Tuesday, I'll be playing some more Terraria. Oh, I'll be continuing on with the For the Worthy Legendary mode playthrough. For all the good that's going to do me, because I am getting the crap kicked out of me. But it's fun. In fact, on OBS here, I have a death counter for that. So yeah. Anyway, enough of me rambling. I appreciate it. Have a good night, and I'll catch you all in a future live stream. And yeah, I'm getting stuff done on the game. It feels good. Anyway, peace out. Have a good one.